shit or nothing's gonna happen. They're gonna be outside playing loud ass music, acting like
I feel every time we come back.
black people.
I would like to say, as things start to warm up, season up. Me and Malaysia definitely went out last night. We came back home at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I was up to like 4:12.
Are we in the right state of mind to possibly be talking about politics? Maybe, maybe not. But here we are.
Oh, it's Nate. Oh my God, he's on YouTube. Wow, thank you. Yeah, no, we have Comedic Light in the back. Actually, hey, I googled Comedic Light backgrounds, and in fact, we've discovered the Comedic Light, so that's what we put in the back. This is so exciting, guys. Like, we're here. It's been so long. It's been so long since we've been here.
And people, they've been begging.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, okay, let me just do the beginning spiel first. Welcome to insert name here, brought to you in full technicolor. I can't remember. And living sound with the dulcet tones of the beautiful, intrepid, hardworking, fucking tired, exhausted, like, damn, like, leave her alone, goddamn. Alejandra Tejeda, how are you?
Yes, that's me. Doing good. Tired.
And the gorgeous, raspy voiced, tired, goddamn, like, don't talk to me. I can't help you. I'm struggling to. Malachi Unique, how are you? I'm bad. I asked me and I answered me. But no, the thing is, like the real reason, like, we don't be like, oh, we want to go live every week and talk to y'all about politics is because, like, we feel like y'all get it. Like, right? Don't y'all? Like, I feel like we've been sitting here, we've been saying the same thing. When I think about it, I thought about it recently. We've been here since, like, a clean 2018. 2018, not on and off, obviously. We can't be consistent for nothing. But
ADHD, man.
But since 2018, we've been getting on here telling y'all the same things. Like, the news cycle changes, but it never really changes. War never changes. Like, and this is what we're in a war with with American politics. And we come in here, we tell these people, they don't like you. Pay attention to the small races. Listen to the young faces. Like, I don't know, like, what more can we say? But y'all ask us back, so we provide. We're here, and we have a agenda that's very concise. It's tight.
It's tight, but if there's anything that you guys want to add, let me know. Let us know.
We went live for engagement. We don't even have our green screen. We wasn't even, like...
There's no ring light. There's no green screen.
You could see, like, the sunlight streaming through the freaking curtain. Everybody driving, like... Well, we gonna talk about how everybody driving. Actually, in the thing. But...
Where do you want to start?
I don't know. I forgot what the thing was.
I had the docket up and it's gone.
This happens every time with the docket. See, where's mine? Oh, here it is. Okay. I don't even. This agenda is like, what the hell? Let's talk about crashes, I guess.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So, hey, it's me, the transportation lady. Now, I don't know if I guess I was that last time we got on there, but we've been so off and on. Who knows how, like, much I just bitch about transportation in Boston now. But, like, cars, man. Cars be crashing into humans. And that's bad. It's really bad. Actually, like, it's wild because, like, over the past couple weeks, what's it been, like, 3 crashes, like, over the past, like, month or 2, it feels like. Maybe I'm off. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, there was the kid that was killed, like, less than a month ago.
Yeah.
Somebody else, I think, was, like, critically injured, like, 2 weeks ago.
And
so things are not great in terms of the way people are driving in our city and the impacts that it's having on pedestrians.
And didn't 2 of them happen in South Boston?
Yeah, I think so.
And then I know that also in like surrounding cities in Mega Boston, like Somerville and stuff. they've also had crashes, some including cyclists, others including pedestrians and just vulnerable road users, elderly, children. And it's bad. Like, it's like worse than it was. It feels like, I don't know what everybody else thinks, but it definitely feels like, I guess like the brain is like pre-pandemic, even though we're still in the pandemic, but pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, post people caring about the pandemic, I guess is the way to describe it. Like, there's a level of recklessness in the way people drive that is just like beyond. And maybe it has something to do with all those protest ordinances, how they were literally like in other states, but how they're like, yeah, you can just run over protest, that's fine. Just run them over. Cars aren't weapons of mass destruction. Cars aren't like, massive, like. And then I think the other thing about like cars and crashes and the rough thing is like, some of these trucks and these visibility lines are, they're not good. You can't see small children. You can't see me. I'm not even that small. Like, I can't see over you, so I know you can't see me that well. And I know you can't see an 8-year-old for sure. So, but yeah, stop running people over. And, don't do that. But yeah. That's Ed Flynn's, like, that's actually Ed Flynn's, like, political policy is don't do that. Because, he wants to, like, lower the speed limit and also add speed bumps. And, like, I don't know, like, I don't drive, but, like, I don't know who I'll drive around here, who's gonna see this, whatever. But, like, y'all let me know. If they lower a speed limit on a straight road that just goes straight for however long, and they lower the speed limit, do y'all have to say it out loud? You don't want to incriminate yourself. But you think to yourself, are you going to drive slower?
The answer is no.
Are you going to drive slower? Because I don't drive. But I'm thinking you're not going to drive slower. And then speed bumps just don't work. Like, I don't even understand. Like, when you go over a speed bump, like, what is the impact if you like, are going...
In like an SUV, I can haul over one if I'm being for real. In SUV,
I'm like, because these motherfuckers are in fucking Ford F-150s and shit. Like,
I was like, a small like Toyota Camry, you're gonna get fucked up.
And those aren't the people who are in danger. Like, those aren't the people who are, well, they are, but those aren't the main people we'd be worried about when we're talking about visibility and like that sort of thing. Like, but yeah, you need to add infrastructure to the street. That's how you make people slow down. Like, if people care about the speed of cars, if they care about crashes and that sort of stuff, that's how you make people slow down, is by adding bus lanes that cars can't go into, by adding bike lanes, by taking away traffic lanes. If the street goes straight for 2+ lanes, people are going to speed on it. That's an infrastructure issue. You can't fully blame the public. I do blame y'all if y'all speeding, but you can't fully blame the public for an infrastructure issue. Like, the way it's set up, it encourages you, like, that's the fastest you're gonna get there. You want to get off the road. You want to get whatever. So, it's an infrastructure issue.
We were at, what's the event? What was the event? With Tomo's Haas.
617 mural event.
Yeah, we were at a 617 mural event, and we were talking to these white men. I don't remember their names. Anywho, one of them was like, if it pulled up like a zoomed out picture of Blue Hill Ave and was like, if you pulled this picture up to somebody in the Midwest and were like, do you think this is a highway? They'd be like, yeah. Or like some place that you could go fast. Yeah. And that is the problem. The general people just go, oh, I can just go as fast as you can. You see people driving Blue Hill Ave. When there's not traffic, you can zoom down Blue Hill Ave. And if the police don't catch you, the police don't catch you. I'm not saying I do that. But if the police don't catch you, the police don't catch you. And that's the general rule that people follow when it comes to driving, because people are reckless and careless. So there are things that can be done in terms of how we stop people from driving fast and make it harder for them to drive fast. But lowering the speed limit just isn't necessarily the best avenue. I am not reckless. I am a great driver. Thank you. Anywho, it's just one of those things that is really. It's obviously Ed Flynn. It's Ed Flynn, so he never has great ideas,
and he's very rigid. He's very stuck in his ways.
But the ways that people look at how we fix driving and how we solve these issues are actually like the opposite of how you fix them. Like Mike,
I was to say, like Mike said, even just thinking about the idea of tickets as a what's it called, a consequence, a punishment. Tickets are actively, like, what a ticket means is if you have enough money, it's not illegal for you. Like, if a ticket is $50 for one person, that's nothing. That's dinner on a given night, right? And for another person, that's literally dinner for a week, like for a month, you know? Like, so it's a punishment on the poor, and that is why for me it is fully an infrastructure issue. Like, it's not even red light cameras or automatic enforcement or whatever, so much as it is literally making it so people cannot do that. Like, and ooh, scary radical hippie, it adds to, you know, the future of the fact that we need to move away from cars entirely for climate purposes. Like, you know, there'll never be a time, I don't think, on this planet, even when we properly, you know, actually start divesting from cars and not having such a car focused society, that people won't have cars. Like, it's an invention that exists, it has its use, but like, there's no reason we're sitting in a city, a small ass city. This city is not even big, bro. You can walk this city no problem, and people are driving their cars downtown to all these places. I'm not even saying oh, y'all do it, blah blah blah. Like, we do it because that's the best way to do it, and that should not be the best way to do it. We should have a train at 3 a.m. that goes to Hyde Park, that goes to wherever. We should have buses that run on time. It should be affordable. It should be reliable. It should be safe. It shouldn't fucking catch on fire on a fucking the fucking bridge in the middle of the river and shit or whatever. Like, we, you know, like that, all of that stuff is what makes a safe, you know, safe road. It's not fines. It's not speed bumps. I don't like, can y'all never talk about speed bumps again? That is the most useless infrastructure there is. All it does is get in the way. Like, it literally, all it does is get in the way. And even that, like, think about that thing that was in the middle of, what was that? Was it on West Street where that person plowed through the, like, it was in Hyde Park, like, last year maybe, a person plowed through, like, that yellow, like, barrier thing.
A little crossing people one? Near my house?
Yeah, that when they hit the little boy.
Oh, on West Street. Not on West Street, on Wood Ave.
Wood Ave, yeah. And that was a speed mitigation or a whatever mitigation, and they just fucking ran the boy over. Like, you know? So we need to physically make it so that people can't do that. That's concrete barriers. That's bus lanes where people actively are like, I'm not gonna go in there. Like, cause that's when you find people. That's when you give them a ticket when they're
like Mike said. Only thing I'd actually want is tickets for blocking intersections.
Right,
that's
exactly.
Really like not to say. Well, I rarely double park, but double parking, blocking intersections, blocking bus lanes, blocking bike lanes. Those are times when it's like, okay, you need to have a ticket for that. A speeding ticket does.
And the radical
don't stop you.
And my radical anti-Boston thought is that no one should be allowed to turn on red, bro.
Turning on red. Well, first of all, it's illegal in a lot of other states.
Yeah, it is, exactly.
A lot of other states, a lot of countries think turning on red is illegal. And they're right. Half of the signs in our city, in fact, do say do not turn on red, even though people will honk at you behind you until you do turn illegally on red. I avoid them because fuck you and keep honking. But it's just the infrastructure issues. These are infrastructure issues that ultimately lead to Mike is the ultimate Bostonian. Turning on red is the only way.
No, that was the Bostonian thing. Eat a dick. Oh my gosh.
It's just these issues ultimately lead to kind of an infrastructure thing. And right before we started, I was watching a video on the River Street Bridge. These are kind of intertwining conversations. But a lot of this has to do with the fact that our federal government really needs to, like, intervene when it comes to the infrastructure. This bitch is eating a Pokeball on the side, and I wasn't gonna say anything.
Don't look at me.
But it's the fact she, like, went to the side as if the camera could not see her.
It can't.
Anywho, so most of you probably know, if you live in Boston, that there's a bridge in Hyde Park on River Street. It's called the River Street Bridge, apparently. It's been closed for 3 years. I live right next to it, and it's impacted my life. I literally hear a police officer every Monday through Friday screaming. Well, it depends on if it's a screamy guy. Some of them don't scream, but there's a one that will, like, scream go when people don't, because people somehow don't know how to see this.
That's the thing, y'all. We need to get the hand signals lessons back in more. Like, that's why, when Hay was talking about why do I have to read the junior operator's manual? No, because you need to know.
One would assume this is clear to go, but apparently it's not. So, anywho, the bridge has been closed for 3 years, basically. There's really no signs of it being reopened because it's broken. It can't really be fixed. It needs to be replaced.
Oh, Boston and bridges that can't be fixed, but everybody wants them to be fixed.
Everyone, look, please. And this is my rant on infrastructure in the federal government. I'm actually going to put the article. It has a video. But it was talking about how the Hyde Park City Councilor, Enrique Pepin, and
you mean Pepin?
Whatever. Pepin sounds better to me. And who else was in the video? God damn, I'm forgetting. Somebody else. We need to reach out to the federal government to bully them about this, because one of the issues with this bridge is that there is Amtrak wires and electricity and a bunch of other stuff that run under it, so they really can only work on the bridge like 3 hours a day, which means literally the bridge is never being worked on.
And that's also a major thing that affects how infrastructure, like, changes, especially in the city. Like even, beyond bridges, like, there's a bunch of, like, random, like, paths and sidewalks and this and that, like, the Department of Conservation and Recreation or whatever owns, DCR. They own, like, so if you were to say I wanna do something on this street, but it has a path adjacent, and you would be trying to, like, fix the sidewalk or something and then do something to the lanes, the path would be affected. So you gotta go talk to DCR, and you gotta go figure out who owns this grassland. You gotta go figure out who's taking care of the road, and the MBTA has to put up the bus stops, but no, the city owns the bus stops, but the MBTA, like, it's like, this shit is so dumb. Like, this is why, even though I hate communists, sorry, I hate y'all communists, but I understand y'all, because we could, like, consolidate a little bit. Like, come on, like, why we gotta go through so many people, like, so many people for the same people? I feel like it's like, I don't know.
We're experiencing one of these issues of, It is a mess. It's a mess for so many different reasons, but this is where, like, you really need the federal government to do their job, and they're not. And unfortunately, it's Pete Buttigieg, which is hilarious. But you need the federal government, the state government, and the city government to get together and go, hey, the people of Hyde Park, the people of Boston, and also the people of Massachusetts don't deserve to be impacted for 3 years over a bridge. That is, like, talk to Amtrak, talk to the feds,
and then
talk to the MBTA, and you could get a plan to get this fixed. Instead, they've basically just been holding the people off for, like, 3 years, saying, oh, we're figuring it out. That's not an answer.
And then at some point, too, like, this is the same thing with the other fucked up bridge in the city, the major bridge issue, is that, people...
What's the other fucked up bridge?
I'm talking about the freaking, I can't even think of the name. The Mass Ave, the thing they want to solve Mass Ave with. But like, I was going to say about that, like, it also needs to become a state issue. Like, it's really frustrating, like, when there's transportation things and the state acts like, oh, it's just like a municipal issue. It's not. Like, it's not. Same thing with all those people, like, all those, like, communities who don't want to build housing, and have the MBTA. Like, this is a state issue, and the state should be like, you need to fix this fucking bridge. Like, to the federal government, because that impacts travel. Like, that's not just Boston's problem. Like, that's what frustrates me about how things move at like state local level and whatever, and like how the levels of government move, because like it's not just a local issue. Like, it's a whole, like, same thing with that Maryland bridge, where it's like the federal government needs to be like, that needs to be like disaster relief type shit. They need to fix that quick, because that impacts everybody's travel. That's not just a Maryland issue.
I mean, when that fucking bridge, oh my god, in Rhode Island closed, it literally caused havoc, basically up until like the South Shore of Massachusetts, because a bridge closed. One bridge literally impacts the whole kind of structure of a city to some extent. Like, there's people that literally avoid going to Hyde Park during certain hours because they know not only is school traffic crazy, because there's so many schools in Hyde Park, but the traffic to just get around is insane. And this is my rant to say, if you're asking city councilors about this, you're kind of talking to the wrong person to some extent. Like, you should be having your city councilor advocate, and that's what Enrique is doing. But this is also like having the mayor advocate, having your senator advocate, your state rep. Like, this is stuff that you go to Ayanna Pressley to and you say, hey, this bridge is still fucked up. I know it's not exactly your job, but could you schedule a meeting with Pete Buttigieg to come talk to Hyde Park residents? Could you find out information for us? And that's a Elizabeth Warren question, Markey question. These are things that you have to go to those folks that are in Congress and say, hey, it's not directly your job per se, but I am your constituent, and like, this is fucked up.
This impacts a lot of your constituents beyond just me. Like, that's why it matters to a senator, because we know that everybody driving through Hyde Park doesn't live in Hyde Park, doesn't even live in Boston. So that impacts everybody, at least everybody in the state, at the very least. But anyway, that's enough about transportation, I guess.
Transportation nerds, you know? I could give you 10 more minutes on bridges.
Yeah, I've been playing City Skylines 1. So, you know.
I love a bridge.
I'm up.
I'm scared of bridges, but I love a bridge conversation. Okay, so the next thing we kind of have, where do we want to go? Do we want to go here or here?
Yeah, I guess we'll go to that second one, because and the connection to cars and that sort of thing. I don't know if everybody knows, but Uber is trying to creep their way into they're creeping their way heavy into our political system, trying to, you know, make sure they don't have to pay their employees, or, you know, give them labor protections, or, you know, be any sort of ethical or care about consumers or their employees at all. Yeah. And not just enrich themselves. So they're about to funnel a lot of money into Massachusetts, like just general life politics, politicians, public figures. So I'm gonna, you know, yeah.
And this is something they've been planning to do for a while, because if you don't know, 32BJ, I believe, has started organizing some like Uber and Lyft drivers, and other gig economy folks have started to try and unionize and find other ways to improve their working conditions. For the past, at this point, I think it's been 4 years, since like 2021, they've been fighting on and off in courts over ballot questions and such. And so they're going to continue to push and pump money into it. I think in doing my research really quickly, there were some court cases kind of still open and pending as of like even February of this year over these questions, because Uber is basically trying to force it to say that these drivers don't deserve like a minimum wage, they don't deserve benefits, they don't deserve anything when they spend like 10 to 15 hours on the road driving
in their personal vehicles,
and
where they have to pay in their own insurance.
And with that, they're also like hiring people from our communities to kind of promote these unethical messages and do like funky stuff. And I think our message with this is to be very mindful of the folks that you get information from and the folks that you see supporting the work, because
y'all know my motto: pay attention to the money. See, y'all don't have to pay attention to the money with us, because we don't have no money. We're broke. So y'all don't gotta pay attention to the money. You look for the money. It's God. You look for you. If you find it, come show me, cause I don't know where it's at.
What do you mean?
We don't even have the green screen up, bro. We just put up Haitian flag and a Dominican flag and think, maybe they'll pretend this is okay. But
if anybody wants to buy us a pop-up green screen, please do. Our old method was like a long-standing green screen.
like we was really in like a green stage or whatever.
Yeah, no, Malaysia's office was effectively half a stage for most times.
Yes.
Anyway. Anywho.
But the point is, like, first of all, follow the money. Google, well, not Google. I don't know if Google is your friend anymore, but there's a search engine out there that may or may not be your friend somewhere to search things. Obviously OCPF is our favorite place. So definitely, if there are any candidates taking Uber money, definitely pay attention to them.
I was trying to do the young people heart. I couldn't do it.
I think is it like that?
I don't know.
But anyway. But I think
we're rich in morals but poor in money.
Exactly. I think, like, if you start seeing people, like, I don't know, talking very funny or really positively or just really suddenly about Uber, I don't know, you better question it. You know me. I mean, somebody told me something that I couldn't verify, so I don't know. They need to send me whatever they saw that proves what they said, and then I'll say it. Because everybody knows me. I love to talk shit, but I ain't gonna talk shit on somebody I don't know for sure. I just talk.
We're just hearing, rumors of folks that are,
podcasting folks. I mean,
that are well regarded amongst, not well regarded. I don't know if that's the right
well
word.
regarded amongst some of y'all.
Yeah, amongst
not
some
amongst
of y'all.
Us.
Hopefully, none of our watchers. But that's
haters,
questionable.
But...
Anywho, what we're saying is that if you see people suddenly supporting Uber, if you see some people suddenly taking sides over like a $1 million corporation that really.
Oh, Calvin City has a pop-up green screen.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was gonna respond. If you see that, it's just be mindful, because oftentimes a coon is gonna be a coon. That's the ultimate point. There are gonna be people that will be bought out.
They get funny
that will
for the
be
money.
Anti-worker.
They
that
get acting
anti-
strange for change.
And it's just very important to point out that when we see these campaigns come about, that there's millions of dollars being put in it, and there's people being placed in front of these campaigns, in front of these messages to say that it's from the community, and it's not.
Yeah.
And we've seen it so many times, but it's like, be mindful when this is millions of dollars that people are putting out to make sure workers, people that drive you, like when you need a simple ride home if you're drunk.
Or some of y'all for sure.
To work.
I'm sorry some of y'all drive Uber. I don't know. We don't even got to convince you. Whoever see this, I bet you they're more likely to be an Uber driver than whoever else. Somebody who's like, oh, I love Uber. It's great. I invested back in 2009. Like, if you invested Uber back in 2009, hit me up. But like, yeah, so, yeah, I guess that's why people want us to come back to. They're like, oh, you're trustworthy, you're broke, nobody pays y'all, so why would you lie? They're right.
The issue is, even when you pay me, I won't lie. I'll keep my mouth shut, but I'm
gonna look into the camera, and everybody who is my friend on Facebook or follows me on any social media can ask themselves if somebody paying me would make me lie. Oh, if you've been following me at all over the past 2 months, ask me if somebody paying me. Oh, that may not happen before. Somebody said they signed my checks, and so I quit the job. You don't sign them anymore, nigga.
All right.
Anyway,
so our next thing is about Oo's budget.
Signing the checks, quitting the job.
If y'all don't know, Oo's doing the same thing she's been doing.
She keeps being a Boston mayor, and that's the rub.
There's nothing. And this is where me and Malaysia sometimes have conflicts with doing this show anymore, is that how much more can we tell you? We've told you. Michelle Wu sold out every progressive that she could have when it came to issues about police reform, when it comes to the things that we've really wanted her to push on, and we know that they're hard things to push on. I'm not going to say it's the easiest shit to do as a mayor, to say fuck you to the police. I'm not saying it's easy, but when that's the thing you campaigned on, when that's the thing you got young people to vote for you on, and you turn your back immediately on them, especially the youth, the people that are ultimately.
And you start and you use your police to to intimidate them out of your fucking, what was it, a coffee hour? Or like, I'm like, I gotta talk, like, this has been an ongoing thing since the beginning of Michelle Wu's tenure as mayor, and I understand why it started, and I understand why it continued, but it's a big stain on her legacy, is how she's responded to protests and how she has made active efforts to really curtail legally people's ability to protest her in a way that is disruptive to her. And like, we've had this conversation so many times. Nobody wants those, bro, them nut people like to be in everybody's mentions. Everybody, like, we know how nuts those people are. We don't want, I said it before, we don't want young Michelle Wu and young Michelle Wu to have trouble sleeping. We want them to be able to go to school. We don't want the neighbors to be suffering.
I was like, young Michelle Wu, and I was like, oh, her children.
We don't want the neighbors to be suffering. We don't want Mr. Michelle Wu to be suffering. I don't know. I literally don't know his name.
I know one of her kids' names
Blaze
is Blaze.
And Cass.
Oh, Cass.
I only know that, but I think they were young Michelle Wu.
Young Michelle Wu is better. I like that. It's better.
But they
no,
like,
Dad. Yeah, you deserve to be able to rest.
Like, but also, we as people deserve to be able to protest in many ways, and you as an elected official, a public official who chose this position, should take the L. Like, you know, are those people wrong? Yes, they're racist. They don't have an argument. They have nothing to say to you. Should they be outside of your house? No, they shouldn't. But should it be legal for them to be there? Yes. I don't know why it's like it's the loudest day today. It's Sunday. You'd think, like, whatever. But that, like, and she's done, and like and how that's grown since that protest ordinance has been like, you're at an event and you know, like, you disrupt Michelle Wu and they're shoving you out of the event, pushing, you know, calling the cops, this and that, like, and it's for progressives, it's for leftists, like, it's not for, you know, like, it is for those, like, wild conservatives, but it's not for the middle of the road people. It's not for those supposed polite, like, NIMBYs who blah 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 blah, who will, you know, talk real nasty but grin in your face. Like, it's for the people who will say straight up, like, hey, you're harming us, we need more, we need better, and they're like, I need the police to escort you out the door. So, like, that has been definitely a stain on her, in my opinion. And I'm like, it's so obvious that her biggest, like, her biggest, like, you know, her fatal flaw, her biggest, like, raw nerve is getting bad publicity or having people not like her, like, and
oh well,
that makes it so that is the most effective way to target you in terms of getting you to move politically, so that people are gonna keep doing that. And yeah, you really, like, I'm like, she needs to, I don't know, she needs to figure out how to take criticism better. Like, I'm like, I'll give that motherfucker Walsh one thing. People would come yell in his face. He'd be like, yeah. Michelle would be like, no, call the police. Like, but also that's the other thing. Her and the police, like,
she loved them.
There, I think it's her funding all, like, so many grants, like those brick grants. It's like, girl, you literally said you would not do that. You blocked it in the city council.
I think that's, yeah, that ultimately, like, when it comes to the way she does her policies and the way she does things, it's the fact that, okay, don't defund the police. Cool. Don't do anything there. But additional grants, these things that ultimately boost the ability of the police, as well as surrounding, like, the state police and all of those others, because they work together to do crimes against communities of colors. I'm like,
and don't get me started on that central booking shit. That shit is unconstitutional. Y'all should be going, like, bruh, those sweeps, that has had reverberating effects, including some white man saying who was being yelled at by another white man begging for heroin, the man being yelled at talking about ask them, pointing at us. I'm like, we be ask them. We are black, bro. We black. If he was asking for crack, maybe ask us. He's asking for heroin. That's you, brother. That's you.
Mind you, we were just walking with bubble tea. We literally were in Chinatown just getting a lovely kung fu. I was getting my large passion fruit. Malaysia with her large strawberry lemonade.
So good.
That man points to us, ask them for heroin.
I don't know. No, I don't know that. That's no me.
I said Calvin makes the joke that it's Malachi and the plug, but there's no
I
plug
live on the
here.
5, bro. Like I said, had he said crap, maybe you say point ask them. Maybe they know.
This is a very legal production.
But I don't know nothing about heroin. I don't know nothing about that. Anyway, no, but on a serious, so like this is why y'all like us. But on a serious note, like that has had reverberating effects across this city. First of all, the number of people being arrested has like increased dramatically. People don't notice because these are the invisible people. These are people nobody gives a fuck about. Like y'all don't want the the crackheads on your sidewalk. Y'all don't want the fucking, I don't even call those motherfuckers. I don't even know them leaning ass motherfuckers. Y'all don't want them there, right? Cool, all right.
Leaning ass motherfuckers in all of the terms someone could use to describe somebody struggling with addiction, not bad.
Like
I would prefer that maybe.
If you leaning, but like I just like, this is not solving the problem. This is what we did. This is what we've done. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like, and we continue to have these issues. Like how many sweeps have happened over the past 15 years of this being an epidemic or whatever? And how, and it's here still. It hasn't stopped. Like, Marty Walsh did sweeps. Michelle Wu has done multiple sweeps. Kim Janey, didn't she do a sweep? Or she wanted to do a sweep at least. Like, we have to tackle that problem. And I think some of it has to come from, some of it must have to come from, like, I just don't know. Like, there have been so many constituents that have gone and asked and demanded our governors and stuff do something about this issue, and they just don't. Like, I don't know what it takes to, like, get people to actually try to solve the problem and not just throw police at it. When, like, the thing, I just feel like we could, like, you would shut us right the fuck up if police actually solved the problem. But they don't. So then people like me get to say, why are you still giving them money?
Well, you know what? It solves the problem in theory of the people that are like, I don't want to see them.
And I'm like...
And that's not solving the problem, by the way. Just because they're not on Mass Ave as much doesn't mean they're not there. And them being in jail does not solve the opioid crisis. It doesn't solve the ultimate condition, which is we have a horrible epidemic in this country of an addiction to heroin and, like, fentanyl.
I'm like, y'all, and I'm like, y'all running, I'm like, what do y'all want, more jails? Because we have only limited jail space, and
they're closing one of them.
Exactly. And like I said, they literally created a central booking that is not supposed to exist between whatever cities in Boston police, and like, it's not supposed to be there. Like,
well, anywho, we kind of got off on a tangent.
But anyway,
this was mainly supposed to be about Michelle Wu and her budget being whack. She's put in okay, here's the situation. If you don't know, revenue is down in the state overall. It's also down, allegedly, in the city. She is saying that's misinformation. Who knows?
Well, if it's not down, you better be funding some shit wild, is how I'm hearing it.
So she's proposed, as she kind of has done in the past couple of years, more money to the police. Which is obviously the big issue for multiple reasons. One, if revenue is down, you shouldn't be putting any more money to the police. Two, you shouldn't just be putting more money in the police anyways. 3,
Fuck
why
the
the
police. Coming
Yes.
straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad because of Brown.
It continues to be one of her main things when it comes to the budget, that she will continue to push more and more money to the police budget, when the police budget is, first of all, insane in the first place.
And that's that Boston Mayor shit, man.
They make a ton of money. Like, there's a lot that goes into the budget, and especially when it comes to the police, with their contract, as well as just how much money's put into their budget. That's insane. And more will come out because it's budget season now. Budget season is like basically from now until, it can go longer, but usually by like July it's solved. This is the time when you should be talking to your city councilor and being like, yo, can you try and do something? They do have some power that they can try and do stuff. Most of the time they are really crappy at working together to make sure stuff gets done. So this is the time that you reach out to your city councilor and be like, hey, I'm not in support of the mayor putting more money in the budget for the police. I would like more money to be put in youth jobs, education, housing, any of those things. And her budget does have like more increased funding for education and housing. But compared to giving like a couple more million to the police, you can put a couple more million in housing.
And I think the other thing that's not fully connected to the budget, but is important to like talk about in terms of like why stuff doesn't get done in the way it needs to get done in the city, is that they're like majorly understaffed, and it's a very, very much their fault, but like whatever. But like if people want to apply to so many, there's like so many city jobs of so many different types to apply to, from like public works and being like, you know, somebody who does street sweeping or something like that, to like working in the office of whatever, you know, like there are a lot of opportunities in theory. I personally think that some of their requirements are too stringent and their application process is annoying as fuck, so nobody wants to do it. But they pay well, they pay well enough, they have a pension, you know, those are good jobs and we need people to do them. And that definitely just affects like how they're able to implement stuff. Like you can fund housing, right? But if motherfuckers are not really working properly in housing, and it's not, the other thing is they don't publicize a lot of their their programs well. So if people are not seeing it, it's like, oh well, we don't have to fund it again next year. No one took advantage of this program. Well, you hid it, buried it 3 pages deep on the website, nobody heard of it. But yeah, so think about those things. If you know anybody who wants to apply to a city job, I don't know, sit through the application with them, because that shit's long as hell. roll them a joint before they do it.
The city does like job fairs ever so often.
Yeah, what the mayor doing about the rats?
We need a rat czar.
We need a rat czar, bro. I really thought they said we were gonna have one.
They let me pull up this article that I was looking at. I think they started to have a discussion about getting some sort of like rat czar. Surprisingly, Ed Flynn was the one, but not actually surprisingly, because
that's his bag. Like,
so at the moment, pest control is tasked by the Department of Works,
which is understaffed majorly, and that's part of the reason so much trash is on the street, if you noticed.
But he was hoping for one office to handle the rat issue. And if you don't know, we've been like named one of the like most rat infested cities in the country, which is horrible.
And we're a small ass city, like we just mentioned. So
also, I saw an article the other day about some rats eating somebody's car wires.
Oh yeah, the tire, yeah,
and
car wires. I saw that.
I said that was a hungry rat. You have to be hungry to eat car wires. Anywho, so we know that we have a rodent issue in the city. There are other cities that, like New York, obviously has their rat czar.
That's such a funny name, rat czar.
Czar is such a funny thing to use in a city to like.
Yeah,
thing.
Mayor Wu, we need a rat czar.
But
your constituents demand it.
But there needs to be something about the rodents that are kind of infesting the city. Whether it be, and this is where I don't have a firm opinion, whether it be creating an office that deals directly with this, whether it's we just invest in those zappers that like Somerville and other cities have invested in to try and limit, kill, I don't know the best word. There are different things that we could be doing that just haven't been done. And I feel like maybe this is something we'll start breaking down on the show. There are certain things that are like city specific and very like impactful to the living conditions of the the residents that are smaller issues, like rats, which is actually a big issue, but that is something that Michelle Wu and the city council could directly work on and make changes on. The bridge, not possible, not as possible.
Harder. But things that directly impact the city, like, that is where you go to your city council, you go to your mayor and be like, the rats. But don't send her a strongly worded email. The rats. The subject line. The rats.
Don't give my mom an idea. She's been wanting to sell Michelle Wu an email, but I'm the one that's gonna have to type it. Michelle Wu, the rats.
Subject line: the rats. Dear Michelle Wu.
Someone tag Michelle Wu just at this part of the show. You don't have to watch. Well, you should watch the rest. But the rats.
The rats.
My mother. We live in Hyde Park. She really hates the rats. They be rats everywhere in this city.
And like again, there's trash everywhere too, which is helping the rats.
We need more trash cans and more staff so that they can take the trash
out of the trash can and it doesn't overflow. And we need people to apply, and we need them to have a better application process so it's not annoying. And yeah,
correct. That's the rats. Thank you, Mommy. That is a good. That's a good one. I like when people bring up the ones that are very like city specific.
That's what we want to talk about. So this is type of stuff we feel is impactful to talk about, because this is stuff a lot of people can just do themselves. Like, this is stuff you can get with your homies, your neighbors, your whatever, and say, hey, let's 5 of us email Michelle Wu, the rats. Subject line: the rats.
Like, no, that's like also. Not to say that calling is not impactful, because it is and it annoys staffers, but if you could email.
I like email it in writing.
First. You have it in writing, and then you can call and say, hey, I sent you an email like last week. You haven't responded, but there's a rat issue in the city. Like, what can we do? Can we put a meeting together? Do you have a meeting in like the district soon where we could discuss what's happening with rats? Things you can do. I know it's not sexy to talk about that, and like, people don't want to necessarily have those conversations, but like, as a resident, you also have to take accountability of like, yes, your city councilor, in theory you want them to know everything, but that's literally impossible. I have learned that just doing my work with like legislators. As much as you want to, they don't know everything, and even though I know everything, you should know everything, but whatever. I'll give you slack, and we'll give you grace and say, hey, I'll send you this letter, but you better follow through with something. You need a plan.
Yeah. So, the rats.
The rats!
And then the final, most, important thing, not most important, the final thing, is that lady, I really don't like her. Her name is Erin Murphy. She's, I guess, a city councilor or something. But she want to be fucking. What does she want to be?
She wants to be clerk of courts.
Clerk of courts. Can somebody ask her where the hell she know anything about the courts? Like, are you a lawyer? Were you a paralegal? No. She just want to be clerk of courts because you can get that job and then sit in it for the rest of your life, and nobody will ever run against you or be like, why is this person clerk of courts?
It is very interesting. First of all, when I first saw the article saying that she was going to run, I was like, as Melissa said, damn, you don't have no legal experience. Like, you don't need legal experience to work in a position that, like, you literally have to deal with the legal system every day, and it's kind of impactful.
I mean, you could have at least been a clerk at one point.
But apparently not, which is, obviously, those things can be barriers to, especially people of color, from entering these jobs. But often, we can't even run for the office in some cases, so.
And you never heard of it.
Never heard of it. You don't know what it does. Why would you run for it?
And there's always somebody like Erin Murphy ready to step in that seat. Like, it's like, it sounds crazy to say, but it's literally always, like, in Boston especially, like, you're not getting the damn Register of Deeds. You're not getting the what was that lady running for? I always forget.
Which lady?
Her name was like Katie. But anyway, she was running for something. I'm like, damn, I really wanted her to win because it was like...
Wasn't it Register of Deeds?
No, you know what I think it was? It was, I actually think it
Probate?
was... Maybe. No. It was Register of Deeds because whatchamacallit was the probate.
Yeah.
Arroyo was the probate?
Yeah.
And...
Damn, what's his name? Ran against him a bunch of times.
Oh, Kirby.
Yes, Kirby. I just love Kirby.
Yeah, but like, nobody even knows about that shit. We don't even know to run for that. Like,
which is why we're telling you that, first of all, don't vote for Erin Murphy for clerk.
Don't vote for Erin Murphy for anything. Vote her off the island. That's the only vote she should have. Like, if we drawing lots, vote for her.
I think. Well, we went to some work event for me the other day, and there were a bunch of people with their signature forms, and I think there are people running against her. So we'll see how that race kind of pans out. But
she has the biggest name, so that makes it hard. So
yeah.
We're telling y'all hopefully to care about that and like, you know, share the other people. I think there's somebody named Susan. I don't know anymore, man. I can't remember nothing anymore. I probably like got COVID or something.
You have dementia. It's okay.
Allison Cartwright is running.
Yeah. Yeah. So clerk of court. Let me go through some ones that are important that you probably don't know. My computer's both about to die, and it's going slow. Register of Deeds, clerk of court, the probate. Is it probate? Is that what it's called?
I think so. No one corrected us in the chat.
So office, whatever. Okay, whatever. I'll find
it said with a B, not you said probate.
It should fix itself. There are a bunch of those positions within the court system. Oh, obviously you guys know about DA, but like there's the DA, the clerk of court, the register of deeds.
Why do you know about the DA? Because what a difference a DA makes.
Now Rasaha always he wins with what a difference a DA makes. That one's always gonna be nice. Those are all very important that people don't pay attention to because they don't see how it directly correlates to their general life until somehow you're impacted by either the criminal justice system or just the court system, and suddenly it's a pain to get things done. It's hard to get information. It's hard to get anything you want. Hard to get things scheduled.
You want to get married. Things get weird.
All of those things are impacted by those clerks and by those positions.
Like, for instance, my enemy, who I just don't like because I don't like seeing his face when I go on the website, Bill Galvin. Somebody run against him.
Secretary. Damn. Tanisha Sullivan. That was...
Run harder. She would have won. This is what I feel about everybody. Everything in the state is like, I just think that people didn't go to enough people and literally say, do you know what this is? Because they'd be like, oh, vote for this person. They'd be like, but... Like, people, you have to tell them what stuff is, bro. Like, you really got to tell people. That's how I feel about ranked choice voting. Even though, 60% of people in Boston voted for it. I feel like everybody, I feel like a lot of people was like, what? No one told them. It's very simple. You could just tell them what it is. That's how I feel about everybody who runs for an office like that. That's how I feel about Kirby. That's how I feel about Tanisha. It's nothing specific against any of them specifically. I just think, those offices, there has to be, there's, 2 years before you're gonna run, you have to start a campaign to introduce to people what the hell the Secretary of State is, and then run.
If anybody would like to pay me in Malaysia as consultants to run we're gonna copy Rasan Hall's What a Difference a DA Makes, is gonna be what a difference a Register of Deed makes. We're gonna do it for every level of government. It'll be perfect. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. We could even do it in Spanish. I could do it in Spanish. Malaysia will stand there, and I'll force her to learn the Spanish as it goes through.
We'll go to the schools. We'll go to the camps. we'll go to your office. We'll go to the restaurants. We'll be at the cafes. We'll be at the WeWorks. We'll be
because these positions are just so important to the work that the city and the state does. And when you elect people that stay either in their chairs too long, sorry to be a hater, but Arroyo, you stayed in your seat too long, and that happens, and even with senators, it happens with mayors.
Felix Arroyo, not Arroyo, who may be watching. Not now, but...
Hearts to all of you. Later. Respect and love. But when you stay in seats too long, this is what happens. Either people don't know about your positions, people don't know how it works, and then you don't get you don't put people in power to follow you next. There's just these really important positions that we have to keep our eyes on and people need to be educated on that impact our daily lives, like the fact that we don't have same day registration. That's whack. That's because of that ugly man.
Do you know what's funny about that? That video that James sent me from 8 years ago was me talking about advocating for same-day voter registration at the State House. 8 years ago, when I still had red hair and literally didn't speak English, I guess. I was advocating at the State House for same-day voter registration. I remember the dude. I think it's the same dude, but he was a state rep, maybe at the time. Or a senator, I don't know, I can't remember, but he was literally like, but what if people don't want the government to know their information? I'm like, you getting a lot.
Wait, on same day?
Oh, no, I'm saying on same day, automatic.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Automatic, same difference.
Yeah, no, same difference.
He's like, what if you don't want people to know your information? I'm like, they have a social security card. You getting a license? That's when it would. An ID is when it would automatic. The government knows your information. I was 19. Like, damn, is like, wow. State reps are very stupid.
Uninformed. I'm Alicia's mommy. Same day voter registration. Oh, also, somebody recently talking about what if the illegals vote? Yo, they have an obsession with illegals.
Didn't somebody say that?
No. Recently? They got an obsession.
I feel like it was in this. It wasn't just nationally. I feel like it was in the States. So, was it?
My computer's dead. I can't even.
I don't even know, but somebody said something about that. Oh, that's because when they were talking about the driver's licenses. I remember.
Oh yeah, that was one of their things. First of all, they thought people that are undocumented in this country or have varying documentation that is not citizenship would just suddenly decide they want to go vote. I don't know if y'all know anything, but people in immigrants know how to vote in their countries. Then in their countries it might even be like
dangerous,
forced, a whole slew of things. Why the hell would I risk my life to go?
Bruh, I just want to go to work. They just want us to go to work anyway. But the moral of the show is pay attention. Where we say the same thing always. Just pay attention. Read what you can. Like, don't even accept what we say at face value, even though we're right and we're telling you the truth. Don't accept what we say at face value. Look it up. Think for yourself. And definitely, if they look like they have a nice fancy studio and they start talking about Uber,
be scared.
They're getting Uber money.
Be scared.
If we suddenly get a nice fancy studio and start being like, well, Uber was not really that bad. Like, you know what happened, bro. Anyway, but that's it, I think.
Let me think. If you have any topics that you'd like us to talk about, anything that you think is interesting or weird or anything messy, send it to us. If you ever have a question on any of the topics we talk about, and if you do want some proof of something, I typically link articles as we talk about things, so that you can read it yourself and form your own opinion, because that is important.
And sometimes it's literally just our opinion, man. That's when we say that, though.
It's my opinion!
But anyway, yes, so that's it, guys. Peace out.
Oh, wait. The last thing I have to say is we might start doing this on Sundays regularly, around this time frame. If you like it, please tell us.
Yeah, we were also thinking of the other thing is, if you do have a topic in mind, we're also thinking of doing deep dive videos. So if there's a specific topic, like say for instance, if you really do want to know what the Secretary of State does,
we could talk about it.
We could do a deep dive topic, or
we could even do a little PowerPoint and be cute.
We could get that pop-up green screen, make it go.
I'll get the little pointer.
A pointer, stretch it out. We'll put on our millennial core, and just like we're going to the office,
and talk you through. We're down to do it.
Okay.
We would like to be paid for it, but in the meantime, we educate the public for free.
Accept.
Yeah.
We accept.
So, all right. Goodbye.